And so, okay, this is the first print, first illustration that you'll be selling at the store. Can you give us a little background about this illustration?
Okay, so this is my interpretation of a very famous woman in Chinese history, and her name is Wu Zetian, and she was the first. Yeah, I technically the only woman emperor in Chinese history, and this was back in the 7th century, like 600,
Yep.
650 AD. She started out as a concubine in the Tang emperor's harem, and schemed and worked her way up. And so she started out as a concubine for one emperor, and she ended up marrying his son and became the empress. Like, so after she married his son, and if you know anything about sort of harems and court intrigue and that kind of stuff, in order to really make it in history, you have to be tough as nails. You have to survive court intrigue. And so she not only married the son, but when the son, she became his co-ruler. He respected her opinions so much. She was so smart that he asked her for a lot of things. And so she became his co-ruler. And then when he became sick, she took over as regent of the country. And then when he died, eventually she created her own dynasty. So this is a very impressive woman. And I actually initially created her for an Inktober. Like, I was doing an Inktober, which is when you do a drawing every day based on a theme, and you do it in black and white or pen and ink. So I did that on digitally, and I created a quick illustration of her. And it was, for some reason, everybody was like, "Oh, I love this drawing. Are you going to do it in color?" And so a few months later, for Chinese New Year, I decided red is the color of Chinese New Year. I'm going to redo this drawing in color. And so this is how she ended up. And it's really definitely one of my favorite pieces, because she's a powerful woman. Oh yeah, the theme for October that month was cruel. So that's why I chose her, because she was known for being cruel. And so, yeah. And, but I just love the fact that she's a powerful woman, really to be that kind of person in China back, what is it, 1,500 years ago.
Yes.
You really had to be special.
I mean, I really love the details on on the clothes and on all the accessories. And is there like a particular meaning with the symbol on her forehead? Do you know?
No, that's a lotus flower. And in the Tang Dynasty, and like in the Tang Dynasty, they used to
Yep.
do like decorative things like that. But also, if you'll notice, like, she's actually in the Tang Dynasty, the women actually did wear very revealing, you think of China and Asia, they're slightly more conservative, I would say, in some of the court clothing. But back in the Tang Dynasty, women wore very sexy things. They pushed up their uh, breasts to,
Yep.
attract
Yep.
attention. So
Yep.
I really did like that period of costume, and they did a lot of decorations on their hair as well. I'm not sure, yeah,
This
exactly the story behind all of the decorations on her hair, but I know that the costume is very of that time.
just so it's really, really elegant. And where will you suggest people to put this like print in the house?
This, I definitely think, in the living room, or the entryway where your guests will be. It's like a conversation piece for sure, because you can really talk about who she, because she's kind of a stunning person when
Yes.
you see her. So when you have guests over, they'll be curious, and it would be a good conversation piece to talk about, empowered women and Chinese history. There's just so many things to talk about for this piece. So I think that would be,
Living room. That could be a
yes,
living room, like a dining area, like hangout room. Then people will talk about this. Yeah,
yeah.
absolutely. Wow, I learned so much from this. It's